Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining us today. In this session, we'll discuss how we've used Brightspace tools to build more inclusive assessment practices and with real examples from our own institution. We've structured our session around 5 key areas: a brief introduction of who we are, why inclusive assessment needs more attention, practical assessment projects that worked, tools and practices you can start using, and finally, some resources you can take back with you. We hope this session provides you with ideas you can implement regardless of your role. My name is Alyssa Tobin, and I'm here with my colleague,
Tamara Middleton.
and we are technology integration specialists. And together, we support faculty and staff with effectively using Brightspace and other instructional technology tools at City Colleges of Chicago. City Colleges of Chicago is a 7-college system of individually accredited institutions. We adopted Brightspace in 2019, and we serve approximately 60,000 students each semester. Having one Brightspace instance for all 7 colleges has allowed us to scale inclusive strategies for learning and assessment. What we'll share today comes from that experience of working with faculty, instructional designers, and assessment teams across disciplines to build better, more equitable assessment practices using Brightspace.
Okay, so let's start with the why. At the City Colleges of Chicago, we serve a very diverse student population. And with diversity comes a wide range of learning preferences, needs, and lived experiences. When we talk about inclusive assessments, we're talking about giving all students equitable chance to demonstrate what they know. Not every student will thrive under the same conditions, and that's okay. Inclusive assessments meets students where they are by honoring different strengths and removing unnecessary barriers. When we design with inclusion in mind from the beginning, we're not just supporting a few, we're improving the learning experience for everyone. It's also important to clarify that inclusion is not about giving someone an unfair advantage. It's about ensuring access. Think about curb cuts on sidewalks that were originally made for wheelchairs. We now know that they're also great for delivery workers, travelers with luggage, and parents with strollers, just to name a few. This is the same principle that's applied in education. When we design accessibly, we reduce stigma, prevent last-minute scrambles for accommodations, and foster a sense of belonging. And when students feel seen and supported, they are more likely to stay engaged, which benefits everyone involved. Now that we have touched on the why, let's delve into some scenarios where inclusion is beneficial. The first scenario is one that many instructors have encountered. A student with a documented processing disorder requests extra time for timed quizzes. Without that time, their grade might reflect how quickly they can read or respond, but not how well they understand the material. With Brightspace, we can adjust settings and give individual students extended time under the special access option. But even better, we can think beyond time limitations. When the goal is to assess knowledge and not speed, alternatives like take-home assessments or unlimited reflection, timed reflections may offer more accurate insights. In this example, students with low vision is assigned scanned PDF and videos without captions. This creates a double barrier, visual and auditory. Scanned PDFs are often unreadable by screen readers, and videos without caption exclude deaf or hard of hearing students and students whose environments may not have sound accessible. Inclusive design means using readable digital documents, adding alt text to images, and including captions or transcripts for all videos. Brightspace makes this process easier by supporting accessible file types and embedding content. And when we create access for some, we end up supporting all. So scenario 3 focuses on students who are multilingual. So at the city colleges and many institutions of higher learning, we serve a large population of students whose first language may not be English. This scenario speaks to that. A multilingual student reaches out and feels more confident speaking rather than writing and asks for the option of recording their reflection instead of submitting an essay. Rather than forcing traditional formats, this is the perfect opportunity to lean into inclusive practices. Brightspace and other third-party tools, such as VoiceThread, which can be integrated into Brightspace, offers students the opportunity to submit either video or audio recordings. And when paired with clear rubrics that focus on learning outcomes, not just grammar and formatting, we give students the chance to show what they really know in the way that that works best for them. Now let's look at how these inclusive practices come to life through Brightspace tools. First, we have quizzes. Quizzes can be customized with time adjustments or offered in alternative formats. Discussions give quieter or multilingual students a chance to process and record or respond at their own pace. Assignments allow for video, audio, or text submissions. Rubrics make grading transparent and focus on what really matters. Intelligent agents can automate reminders and support messages. And learning outcomes and analytics help us measure effectiveness and close gaps. All these tools are already available within the LMS. It is just a matter of using them with intention and care.
In this segment, I'll walk us through 5 different assessment projects that demonstrate a variety of inclusive practices. The purpose here is twofold. First, to present on large-scale assessment projects that may be of interest to those developing institution or program-wide assessments, and 2, to demonstrate the variety of ways you can incorporate inclusive strategies. Let's start with the critical and creative thinking assessment. This project was an institutional assessment to evaluate students' critical and creative thinking skills across the college. 2 common quizzes were created in Brightspace. Students could choose which one they wanted to take based on their interest in the topic. That element of student choice helps to reduce anxiety and encourage engagement. Prior to starting the quiz, students were provided content on the topic, which included text, videos with captions, and images with alt text, which gives students a variety of ways to learn and understand the content, also known as multiple modes of representation. We also used intelligent agents to send reminder nudges to students who hadn't yet completed the quiz. And to reinforce motivation, we used the awards tool to issue a certificate of participation. While not directly related to supporting accessibility, awards can give students a confidence boost and sense of inclusion. The Human Diversity Assessment was another institutional assessment completed at one of our colleges. A common rubric was developed in Brightspace and copied into the courses of faculty who volunteered to participate. Faculty attached the rubric to an existing human diversity related assignment in their course, which allowed for assessment of both course level and institutional level outcomes. The rubric was visible to students before and after completing the assessment, making the grading criteria clear and transparent. This approach also gave instructors the flexibility to choose an assignment that fit their context, supporting assessment variety while preserving consistency in evaluation. We also held rubric norming sessions to promote inter-rater reliability and a shared understanding of the outcomes. The next example is a program assessment for the Child Development AAS degree. Here, faculty collaborated to create 6 key assessments aligned with the NAEYC professional standards and competencies. These assessments are distributed across 3 200-level courses, and each standard is assessed twice, giving students multiple opportunities to demonstrate their competency. The key assessments are built as assignments in Brightspace and attached to the rubric that's aligned to the learning outcomes. Students are provided templates, examples, and scaffolded instructions to support their submissions, again reinforcing transparency and reducing ambiguity. The next assessment is the English exit exam, developed by English 101 faculty. This common assessment was built as a quiz in Brightspace with a common rubric attached for scoring. Students are given a choice between essay topics, reinforcing student agency and allowing them to engage with content that resonates most with them. The quiz is not timed, removing unnecessary pressure and supporting students who may need more time due to processing needs or external factors. The design also prioritized screen reader compatibility, ensuring accessibility for all learners. Faculty then use the attached rubric to assess each submission, ensuring transparency in grading and a consistent evaluation process. Finally, the last assessment I want to highlight comes from an instructor who wanted to promote authentic assessment and creative expression. Students were offered the freedom to choose the format of their final project. Options included oral presentations, videos, podcasts, slide decks, essays, infographics, and even creative formats like songs or spoken word. This flexibility allowed students to demonstrate competencies in a way that aligned with their strengths and interests, while still meeting the required learning objectives. The required components are stated clearly in the instructions, as well as with a rubric to give students transparent criteria on what they will be graded on. The instructor also provides examples from previous semesters to help students visualize what success could look like. Regardless of the format chosen, all submissions were assessed using the same rubric to ensure fairness and alignment with course outcomes. Across all of these projects, intentional choices were made around the following inclusive practices: providing student choice where possible, using multiple content formats for accessibility, offering clear grading criteria and rubrics, giving timely reminders and motivational rewards, designing varied assessments to capture different strengths, and ensuring transparent, supportive communication. The Brightspace tools we used, like quizzes, assignments, discussions, rubrics, standards, intelligent agents, and awards, were not just functional, but flexible enough to support equity-minded assessment design. As instructional designers, technologists, and faculty, our role isn't just to measure outcomes, it's to do so in ways that are inclusive, motivating, and meaningful for all students.
Okay. To make these practices easier to implement, we've created the Inclusive Assessment Toolkit. It includes real-world examples from a variety of disciplines, a checklist of inclusive strategies, tooltips for Brightspace, sample alternative assessments, and guides for creating accessible course content. This is a resource designed to support you, something you can revisit as your approach to assessments evolves. You can access this toolkit by using the QR code provided. This concludes our presentation. Thank you so much for viewing our video. We hope it gave you some helpful tools and tips you can use and share with your fellow colleagues. As always, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Thank you again, and we hope you enjoy the remainder of the D2L conference.